Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at the new Kill Team Balance Update. This video is sponsored by the Game Bunker. More on that later. Kill Team Balance Update. Big changes to Chaos and beyond. Kill Team performance has been in a great state overall since the start of the new edition, with 8 different factions placing on the top 10 at the Las Vegas Open, and today's updates took a close look at the gap between the top and the bottom even further. The Kill Team app has also been updated with all the info, as well as a new tournament companion that outlines guidance for event play, and provides a full list of classified teams. There's also a user guide to help you navigate the full range of functions. Alright, so we recently had the LVO Biggest Kill Team Tournament in Las Vegas, and the Warp Coven won. We had a pretty nice overall share of different teams in the top 10, with 8 different kill teams placing, so I think overall there's pretty good balance in the game. We've been playing a lot of kill team locally and been really enjoying it. Our Friday night fights have been ramping up, and we've got a pretty good diversity of teams as well. Bunch of different teams, bunch of different results, and overall I do think Games Workshop has made some really nice changes to Kill Team. It still has a lot of the flavor of the previous edition of Kill Team, but some of the rules, like for instance the cover rules, have been drastically simplified or clarified, so you still get the effects, but it definitely seems much more clear. So let's take a look at the new changes and how Kill Team is shaping up. Download the data slate to see all the changes in detail, but we're going over some of the most impactful updates below. Alright, so I will put the view downloads link down in the description. First of all, counteracting has been reined in a little so that certain abilities that give extra movement beyond the limits of normally allowed no longer work, to prevent some factions from getting outsized utility out of their extra actions. You also can't take the guard action when counteracting in Killzone Galadark now, which previously gave elite kill teams a little too much board control for free. The Warp Coven has been a consistent frontrunner for their potent mix of offense, defense, and durability, so several key abilities have been limited to rebalance their power. Their durability now more closely matches that of their power armored peers, with the reduction to their save characteristic to 3+, and changes to ploys that negate the piercing rule, while several psychic weapons and actions have been gently nudged downwards in damage and power. Okay, so I think this sounds pretty good overall. So piercing is a very powerful ability, so being able to negate that is very strong, and then also having a 2-up save in Kill Team is just a bit much. A 3-up save is much more in line with the other power armored teams. So I think overall these are probably good changes. And then I think it's safe to assume that Warp Coven being the top team at LVO means that they were likely a little bit on the strong side. So hopefully these changes will bring them back in line with some of the other teams, take away a little bit of their advantage, but still make them competitive. Likewise, the Legionaries have seen many of their ploys and abilities guarantee offensive and defensive success toned down, as well as their ability to regenerate wounds quicker than some teams could reliably remove them. These changes ensure the Warp Coven and Legionaries are now more in line with the elite kill teams while still keeping them fun and engaging, both for commander and their opponent. Other kill teams have seen some wholesale improvements to reward interactions with their core mechanics, including communion points for the Vespid Stingwings, and others for the Imperial Navy Breachers, the Hunter Cad, and Gellerpox Infected also gained some significant upgrades, especially focusing around increasing their durability. Alright, so that sounds pretty good. We have definitely seen in local play that the Vespid Stingwings are really squishy and definitely have some trouble on the table. The Imperial Navy Breachers are good and fun, but definitely lacking. Same with the Hunter Clad. We haven't really been playing the Gellerpox Infected locally, but I do have them, so we'll have to bust them out with the new changes and see how they shape up. Now a quick word from today's sponsor, Game Bunker. Game Bunker carries a full range of Games Workshop products, including miniatures, terrain, paint tools, and more. Game Bunker offers 15% off MSRP for most Games Workshop products with the discount code WHMS. Receive free shipping in the continental United States on orders over $145. Online orders ship out within 24 hours. Game Bunker is a veteran-owned business. Use affiliate link below, enter discount code WHMS to save 15% on most items at checkout. For fast, friendly service with a discount on your favorite tabletop wargaming purchases, visit GameBunker.net and let them know that Warhammer Man sent you. This is by no means an exhaustive list of changes, and many small tweaks have been made to put Kill Team in its most fun and balanced state ever. Make sure to download the balanced data slate below and check out the updates for your own teams and try out their new performance in the kill zone. And then we see a special note at the bottom, a change which also affects the Legionaries who have a similar mitigation abilities. So overall sounds pretty good. I think they changed a lot of the things that stand out as being a little bit overpowered, and then also buff some of the teams that were definitely struggling on the tabletop. I think Games Workshop overall recognizes not only the changes they need to make, but also that in the past, the rules updates and constant changes resulted in what I refer to as rules bloat, where you essentially end up with massive pages and pages or multiple documents of changes that just become completely exhaustive when you go to pick up a new kill team or go to start the game for the first time. I think one of the biggest issues with Kill Team was after a couple years of it existing and so many different balance data slates and changes that rather than fixing an initial rule and just making it simple, oftentimes there was a stack stack of different rules that they had to change to affect the first rule and then affect the second rule that they made to affect the first rule. And then it basically just ended up in a long chain of changes that essentially just overcomplicated the game and made it almost impossible to jump into Kill Team like halfway through the season or pick up a new Kill Team once tons and tons of changes had been made and all your documents were essentially like invalidated. I do think having like the app itself is really good because that allows people to keep up with the changes without having to go search through a bunch of documents. I also have found that while the cards initially felt like an unnecessary extra investment, that they really do pay off like on the actual tabletop. Using the cards has been exponentially beneficial. Having all the stats right there in front of you, being able to keep track of your individual fighters, their various abilities, and then like wounds, etc. has made it much more simple and much more fun. I think the biggest part of Kill Team is keeping the game flowing, keeping it fast moving, and just overall making sure that you're having fun, not digging through a bunch of like documents, checking up on rules. And overall, I gotta say the Kill Team has been a ton of fun. We've really been enjoying it. We've seen a lot of mixed results and mixed winning teams, and we've got a vast scope of teams that have been finding success in various kill zones. We have some of the boards set up for like the outdoor kill zones, which are much more open. We've got some of like the Into the Dark style or like indoor boards set up. We've been using door mechanics, equipment, all different stuff, and honestly, I gotta say, Kill Team is a ton of fun. I think Games Workshop has done a really good job recognizing what the issues were, fixing those issues, and then overall that's been reflected in the gameplay. I do still think there's a couple of teams that struggle and a couple of teams that seemed overpowered, but it seems like in this article, Games Workshop is addressing those, and I'm sure there's going to be future changes coming, so if your team got some nerfs that you feel like were too much, or some of the other teams that were not good enough, didn't quite get what they needed, I think overall patience is the key. And another thing I really like about Kill Team is that it's only really like a handful of models, anywhere from like 6 to like 15 models. So if you're really just not having fun with one of the teams, or you don't feel like they play the mechanics how you want them to play, or they're just overall getting blasted off the table, it's not that hard to just grab up another team and start playing with them and just make sure that you're having some fun. I think the shooting mechanics are really good. I think the combat mechanics are really good. And overall, I think regardless of which teams you play, you're going to be having some fun. So let me know what teams you've been putting on the table. Are there any particular teams that have been an absolute menace? Are there any particular teams that you've been really struggling with and just haven't been fun to play? Any confusing rules or changes that you'd like to see clarified or made in the future? Definitely like to hear back from you guys in the comments. And I will have the link in the description for all of the downloads. And a special thanks to the Game Bunker for sponsoring the channel. Check out the link in the description to save 15% on most Games Workshop products with code WHMS at checkout. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man. And if you haven't been playing Kill Team and you've been interested in it, I think now is a great time to check it out. And I'm out of here.